ser padre a último minuto.
Now, I know I have parenting in my title, so it doesn't mean for our teenagers and 20-somethings and our tweens should not listen, because this is pertaining to you. We had last year 4 of our teenagers graduated. And I would like to pose a question to you. From the 4 that graduated, are there stronger Christians a year later, or are they weaker? So I want you to just think about that for a moment. We want to send them out. But when we send them out, our purpose is for them to win others, not to be won themselves. What you become depends on the friends you choose.
Depende de los amigos que tú tienes.
See, I don't have many friends.
Yo no tengo muchos amigos.
While I have a lot of people that I am friendly with.
Que yo soy amistoso con
and the reason why I don't have many friends is because I don't want many people to have the opportunity of molding me like they are. So I choose friends very carefully. I choose people whom I admire and I want to be more like. I don't choose people who are doing nothing, but I choose people who are always doing. Are you hanging with the right crowd? 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be misled.
No os engañéis.
Bad company corrupts good character. It is daunting to think that a parent has worked on a child for 18 years and the child goes out and meets new friends and forgets everything they learned in 18 years. I remember hearing some of our soon-to-graduate students last year, as one told a friend, I can't wait to get out of my house so I can go clubbing. Now, I am not anti-clubs because I have a wife and daughters who love to dance. And we have gone to clubs with them. And we have seen as they have turned the whole entire club to follow their dance moves. So I am not anti-clubs. But if you're going to be the club person, be the one who leads, not the one who follows. Walk in there and bring life instead of bringing more death. Bad company corrupts. Now, I'm in a computer age. And in the computer age, I know about files being corrupted. I also know about files being corrupted while you're using the computer. Have you ever been on the internet and all of a sudden see windows begin to open on their own? I don't know what to do about that. So I've done what I know to do. Turn the thing off and call someone that knows. I mean, I can see that something is coming in. So let's stop it from coming in. Let's turn it off. And let's get someone that knows more than me to take away what was put in, so I no longer will be corrupted. Parents, we don't get the opportunity to turn our children off when they're being corrupted. We just get a chance to believe that God will be able to take care of them while they're gone. Hopefully we raise them well enough to understand what corruption looks like, because it multiplies quickly. Hey, I'm preaching. Whether y'all are listening, I'm preaching. I have 893 friends on Twitter,
Yo tengo
1,418 friends on Facebook,
1418
and
amigos en el
754 on
Facebook,
Instagram.
754 en el Instagram.
My youth minister says I'm very
Mi pastor dice que
popular.
yo soy popular.
It sounds like it.
Suena
How do
como
you get to
quieres.
know any?
Pero ¿cómo
How
tú
did you
conoces
get
a-
to know that many
¿Cómo tú
people?
conoces toda esa gente?
Oh, I don't know any of them.
Oh, yo no conozco a ninguno.
They're just my friends.
Solo son mis amigos.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook too.
Sí, yo estoy en
I know
Facebook
old people
también.
on Facebook. That's
Yo
what my kids
conozco
tell me.
mucha gente en Facebook.
Old people on
Yo
Facebook.
conozco a la gente vieja en Facebook.
I don't know a lot of those people
Yo
on
no
Facebook.
conozco mucha gente en Facebook.
I befriended some of those people
Yo soy
because they were
amigo de
friends of
esa
my
gente
friends.
Porque eran amigos de mis amigos.
And they asked to be my
Y
friend.
pidieron que yo sea
But
su
do you
amigo.
know I don't care anything about them.
No me importa nada de ellos.
When they put a post,
Cuando ponen algo,
I don't read it.
yo no lo leo.
I don't know them.
Yo no los conozco.
They're a friend
Ellos son amigos
of my friend.
de mis amigos.
I'm smart enough to
Yo
know.
soy inteligente
They're a friend of my
suficiente que
friend.
ellos son amigos de
I don't
mis
know.
amigos. Yo no lo conozco.
When they put a little sad
Cuando
story
ponen
on there,
algo,
I put a
triste,
sad face.
Yo pongo una cara triste.
I don't know them. They're not really my
Yo no lo
friend.
conozco, no son mis amigos.
They are
Ellos
friends
son amigos
of my
de mis
friend.
amigos.
I have to know the difference. Because
Tiene que saber la
this
diferencia,
generation of
porque esta
folks are
generación
always
de
worried
gente
about
siempre
friends.
están preocupados de los amigos.
They're preoccupied
Siempre están
with
ocupados
friends,
con los amigos.
but don't know
Pero no se dan
what a
cuenta.
friend
¿Qué es
is.
un amigo?
So I'm going to tell you what a friend is
Yo
really
te voy a
quick.
decir qué es un amigo bien rápido.
A true friend
Un amigo real
will take a knife
toma un
and
cuchillo
stab you with it,
y te penetra
but they'll
el
let you
cuchillo
know
a ti,
it
pero
was coming.
te va a decir que viene.
They won't do it from
Ellos
behind.
no lo harían de atrás.
They'll do it from in front,
Ellos lo hacen de al frente.
and they'll inject it
Y ellos lo
slowly
penetran
so you can get used to the
despacio
pain.
para que te acostumbres
Yes,
del
I am
dolor.
using a metaphor. I don't
Sí,
mean a friend
estoy
is going to stab you
usando
for real.
Metáfora, esto no es que un amigo te va a
It
pegar
means that your
así, pero
friend
quiere decir que
is
tu
going to
amigo
be
te va
honest
a decir
and
cosas
truthful
honestas
with you.
y
They're
va
not
a
going to
ser
tell
honesto
you
contigo.
what you want
No
to
te va a decir
hear.
lo que tú quieres
They
escuchar.
will tell you
Ellos
what
te
you
van a decir
need
lo que
to
tú
hear
necesitas
because
escuchar, porque
that's a friend.
ese es un
A
amigo.
friend looks
Un
out
amigo
for you,
te
and a
está
friend comes
buscando,
to your
te está
rescue when you do
rescatando
something
cuando tú haces
stupid.
algo estúpido.
That's a friend.
Ese es un amigo.
Everybody else,
Todos los otros,
they're posers.
ellos son falsos.
They don't know how to
Ellos
be
no saben
a friend.
cómo ser amigos.
It's amazing when I have to speak to
Es
some of my
maravilloso cuando tengo
youth
que hablar con los
and
jóvenes
teenagers
y los
and
adolescentes
preteens,
y los más
and I hurt their
jovencitos,
feelings.
y yo le hiero los sentimientos.
And they begin to cry.
Ellos comienzan a llorar.
And they think that
Y
their
ellos
crying
piensan que están
is going to
llorando.
soften what I
Eso
said.
va a suavizar
But
lo
I
que yo
look at
dije,
them, I
pero
say,
yo le
well, you
digo,
need to cry, go
bueno,
ahead and cry.
Si tú lloras.
But what I told you has
Pero
not
lo que te
changed.
dije no ha cambiado.
This is the truth.
Esta es la verdad.
And I'm giving it to
Y te la
you
estoy
with
dando
as much love
con
as
todo
I
el amor
possibly
que
can.
puedo darte.
You can listen
Puedes escuchar
because it is your choice,
porque es tu
or
decisión.
you can disregard
O
it.
puedes dejarlo así.
But later on,
Pero después,
if you disregard
si
it,
tú no lo escuchas,
I will be the one
yo voy a ser la persona
crying for
que
you.
va a llorar por ti.
Campus renewal divulges that roughly 70% of Christian college students going off to college end up leaving their faith
70% de los,
during
de
their
los estudiantes
first
que van
year
a
on
universidades
campus.
cristianos dejan su fe en el primer año de estar en la universidad.
70%.
70%.
Hey, I tell you,
Yo
I
te digo,
just finished my
yo
master's
acabo
degree.
de
I
terminar
do
mi
know the
maestría,
things
yo
that
sé
college
las
are
cosas
teaching.
que la universidad está enseñando.
And I went to,
Y yo fui a
you know,
una,
relatively Christian
y yo
college.
fui a una universidad que un poco cristiana.
You know, and my professors
Y mis profesores
said some weird
dicen
things.
cosas raras.
You know, and I went with it
Y yo fui con eso
so I can pass the
para
test.
yo pasar el examen.
You want to say something
Si
stupid?
quiere decir
and
algo
it's going to be on the
estúpido, está
test?
bien, va a estar en el
Hey, I'm
examen.
going to put what you want me
Yo
to
voy a
put.
poner lo que tú quieres que yo ponga.
But I'm not an idiot.
Pero yo no soy idiota.
I don't believe your
Yo
story.
no creo en tu historia.
When you telling me we
Cuando tú
came
me
from
dices que
apes,
vinimos de los
I'm
monos,
looking at you
yo
and
estoy
wondering,
diciendo y te estoy mirando y estoy
does your
preguntando.
mom appreciate
¿Tu
you
mamá
calling her an ape?
aprecia que tú le estás llamando un mono?
Did she come from the chimpanzee family or the orangutan family? Is your dad a gorilla?
¿Es un gorila?
You know, I'm just,
no sé, yo
just
solo
thinking.
Estoy pensando.
Just thinking.
Pensando.
But you want me to say
Pero
that
si
we came from a primordial soup? The answer is primordial soup. Where did we come from? The primordial soup. That's the answer you want me to put to say I'm educated. But without God, there was no soup. There would not be any soup. No chicken soup, no beef stew, no soup of any kind. God began.
Comenzó.
God.
Dios.
Without God,
sin Dios,
there's nothing else.
No hay nada más.
But I got my education,
mi educación,
and because I got my education now I can say what I always wanted to say, and you can't say anything about it because I passed your test. Amen.
Amén.
Studies have shown that somewhere between 60% and 80% of previously engaged Christian youth become disengaged with their faith as they transition into college. Now, I want to take a little detour here because it's not just going to college. Because we had one that didn't go to college. He's taking a detour too. You don't see him as much now as you saw him before he graduated from high school. You see him occasionally. But let him run into problems. He'll certainly call me. Oh, I know it. Pastor, would you speak for me? Well, I can speak of how often I've seen you since you graduated. This is what, probably the third time? I'll tell him that. He graduated last year around this time. I've seen him 3 times since. What has he done in between? I don't know. Let him go if you want to. No, you don't want me to say the truth. You want me to prolong those 3 times. But the truth is still going to continue to be the truth. 60 to 80%. Find something else to do. Because all of a sudden, they don't fit in. I don't fit with those people. What, you didn't fit with people that you used to fit with? What changed that you no longer fit? Because those people are still the same people. I dare tell you, you changed. Well, we can't undo what we already did. No, but you can recognize that you did it. I am the light of the world. So are you. We are the light of the world. If we're shining, we attract. If we stop shining, we're in the dark. There are certain things that people only do in the dark. They don't want it publicized. They don't want everybody to know. But if you're the light, you can't hide because everybody can see it. So to come out of here, you got to turn yourself off. Amen.
Amén.
Hey, I'm going to be soon sending my second child out. I'm glad to hear my son's friends talk about how weird he is. We like my kids being weird. Hey, the Bible said that we are supposed to be unusual, strange, alien. What's the word in the Bible? Peculiar. That's the word in the Bible. Peculiar. His friends will say, your son, he doesn't curse. But he'll say stuff that'll make you laugh. Because it's like so weird. Oh, biscuit. Oh my goodness. He does that all the time.
Él lo hace todo el tiempo.
Stuff like fruit salad. And then start naming
Él
fruits.
comienza a hablar de las frutas. En vez de decir
He
una mala
makes up
palabra, él
stuff, and then
dice
he doesn't do the same
frutas.
thing all the time because
Y él
you'll
no
get used
dice lo
to it.
mismo todo el tiempo,
All
así
of a
que no
sudden,
te
he'll just say
acostumbres.
something weird
Él
that is
dice
like he's
algo
never said that
raro
before.
y decimos,
So then
"Wow,
everybody
está
has to
diciendo", así que
stop
la gente tiene que parar
and just begin to
y
laugh.
comenzar a reírse.
He called me the other day and
Él
said,
me
"Dad,
llamó el otro día y me dice, papá,
I have to confess."
yo tengo que confesar.
And you know, I thought the worst
Y
thing.
yo pensé lo peor.
I did, you know,
Sí, yo
because
pensé
my
lo
son
peor.
telling me
Porque
he's
mi hijo
confessing.
diciendo que va a confesar.
I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a
Dije,
grandfather
ay,
before
yo voy a ser
time.
abuelo antes de tiempo.
You know, he got arrested for something
Quizá lo pusieron
stupid.
en la cárcel, algo
Yeah,
estúpido.
I'm just
Yo
going through
pensé lo
my,
peor.
and at the same time, I
Y a la
keep your
misma
mouth
vez yo
closed.
dije, cállate la
Keep
boca,
your mouth
cállate la boca,
closed
cállate
before
la
you
boca,
fuss.
antes
Listen,
que tú pelees.
because I want to fuss
Escucha.
right away. What you mean you want to? So, no,
Yo-
and he said,
yo dije,
Dad, I'm
"Papá,
21 years
yo
old."
tengo 21 años.
Yes.
Ok.
And remember, you told
Acuérdate
me
que tú me
to
dijiste
stop looking at
que
everybody
pare de mirar
as
a
black
todos
and
como
white.
si fueran
That I have to
blanco y
consider where they
negro. Tengo
came
que
from.
considerar de dónde vinieron.
And before I
Y
think that
antes
they're
que
bad
ellos piensan
people,
que esas
I
gentes
have
son
to
malas,
understand
yo tengo
them.
que entenderlos, ¿verdad?
Okay, get to the point.
Está bien, llega al punto.
He says, well, I'm
Él dijo,
21,
bueno, tengo 21,
so I went drinking.
así que yo fui a tomar.
You did what?
¿Tú hiciste qué?
I went to the bar
Yo
with
fui
my
al
friends.
bar con mis amigos
And
y
I
yo
drank.
tomé.
But Dad, I
Pero
want you to
papá,
know
déjame decirte,
that stuff
esa cosa
is nasty.
es horrible.
I had wine, I don't like
Yo
it.
tomé vino, no me gustó.
I had some tequila,
Tomé
I like that less.
Me gustó eso menos.
I had beer.
Tomé cerveza.
I don't know what's wrong with
No
these
sé qué
people.
le pasa a esta
Because
gente,
all that stuff
porque toda esa cosa
is nasty.
es horrible.
And for a moment I thought to
por un
myself,
momento dije,
Lord God, I
Señor,
thank
Yo
you
te doy gracias.
that my son
Que
didn't
mi
end up
hijo
being a knucklehead
no
trying to follow
estaba
someone
tratando de
pretending
seguir a
he
alguien,
liked the
pretendiendo que le
experience.
gustó la experiencia.
Because some folks
Porque
will
mucha
go
gente
with their
lo
friends
hacen con sus
and drink
amigos,
for the first
tomar
time.
por primera vez.
And the taste buds will say,
Y-
this is
Y
nasty.
eso le va a decir que eso
But
es
you'll do it
horrible,
again
pero lo hace otra
and
vez,
again
y lo hace otra
and
vez,
again
y lo hace otra
till
vez.
eventually
Solo
it tastes good
eventualmente
to
sabe
you.
bueno para ti.
If it's nasty,
Si es horrible,
don't drink
no
it.
lo tomes.
Amen. I remember being 6 years old,
Me acuerdo tener
climbing
6
in a
años,
tree with a friend of mine,
subiendo en un árbol con mi
and
amigo.
he had a
Él
cigarette
tuvo un cigarro
and some
y
matches,
tenía un fósforo.
and he lit it and took
Y
a
él lo
puff
prendió y comenzó a fumar
and passed the stuff to me.
y me lo pasó a mí.
And I did the same thing like
Yo
he
hice
did.
lo mismo.
Held it in my hand all
Lo
cool,
ponía ahí, lo puse en mi mano así muy
took a
genial.
puff.
Hice así.
That is nasty.
Eso es horrible.
And he said, why did you
Él
do
dijo,
that to
¿por
my
qué
cigarette?
hiciste eso a mi cigarro?
Because you gave it to me.
Porque tú me lo diste.
It's nasty.
Está horrible.
Who needs to smoke?
¿Quién tiene que fumar?
Have you ever seen a
¿Tú has
lion trying to
visto
smoke?
un león fumar?
They say we came from monkeys, but I've
Dijeron
never
que
seen
vinimos-
one of those
vinimos de
smoking
los
unless some
monos, pero yo
stupid
nunca he visto
person
un
taught him how
mono,
to smoke a cigarette.
fumando.
Try giving a chimpanzee
Dale
cigarette
un
in
cigarro a un
Africa
chimpancé en
and light it
África.
for him.
Y
I guarantee
préndelo. Yo
you,
te voy a garantizar que
he's gonna run away.
él se va a correr, él se va a huir.
That's stupid.
Eso es
What are we
estúpido.
trying to smoke for?
¿Por qué tenemos que fumar?
One of my kids at
Uno de
school
mis
was
hijos
trying to
en la
tell me
escuela me dijo
all of the benefits
Todos
of
los
smoking
beneficios
marijuana.
de fumar marihuana.
I'm like, you're an eighth
Yo digo,
grader.
tú estás en octavo
You trying
grado.
to convince
Tú me
me
estás tratando de
that
convencer
smoking marijuana
que fumar marihuana
is good for
es
me.
bueno para ti.
Is good for glaucoma, is good for
es bueno
cancer
para cáncer,
patients, is good.
es bueno.
I said, you
Yo
don't
dije,
have
tú no
glaucoma,
tienes
you don't have
glaucoma, tú no tienes
cancer.
cáncer.
Keep going, maybe we can
Sigue,
find some
quizá
reason
vamos a
for you to
encontrar
smoke
una
this
razón buena para que
marijuana.
tú estés
Keep on
fumando
going, let's see
marihuana.
the list.
Vamos a ver la
And
lista.
she had a good list,
Ella tuvo una lista buena,
but none of it
pero ninguna de esas
applied to an eighth grader.
aplica a uno de octavo grado.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not good for glaucoma.
Que no es bueno para la glaucoma.
I don't have glaucoma.
Yo no tengo glaucoma.
Thank God, because I don't have to smoke it.
Yo no quiero fumar eso.
Don't have cancer.
No tengo cáncer.
Thank God, I don't have to smoke it.
No tengo que fumar
that
eso.
Stuff smells
eso
bad.
Huele horrible.
I mean, your breath is stinking.
Y huele tu aliento.
Whatever benefit it has,
cualquier beneficio que tiene.
Thank God I don't need it.
Gracias a Dios que no lo necesito.
If your kids had a good experience from their own parents as to what a good Christian is, then being away should have them become better and stronger. The problem that I find with a lot of young people when they go to school and leave their home is that they've had a false experience of Christendom coming from their own family. Because we all know we don't air our laundry. But the problem we have in church is this: we don't air our laundry. That's our problem.
Ese es nuestro problema.
We know how to fake it.
Sabemos cómo ser falsos.
You know, I have seen folks that I know personally.
Que yo lo conozco personalmente.
Man, start to do the shout on Sunday at church. Have all the ushers trying to keep him in place so they don't go and hit the table and the chairs. But come Monday, that shout was yesterday, y'all.
Esa alabanza era para ayer.
This is a new day.
Hoy es un nuevo día.
They're going to do something
Ellos van a
different.
hacer algo diferente.
I mean, how many times you need to fall in the same sin?
Que caerte en el mismo pecado.
I fell into sin.
Me caí en el pecado.
This is your sixth pregnancy.
Este la embarazo sexto.
Well, then they start quoting Miley Cyrus
bueno, va
to me.
A comenzar a decir
Everybody makes
una
mistakes.
Canción popular.
Everybody has those days. Yeah, but you're supposed to learn from them.
Errores. Pero
you're not supposed to keep making them.
No seguir cometiendo
learn from them. You got pregnant out of wedlock the first time. The second time shouldn't have happened because the first time shouldn't have happened. By the time you get to the third one, it's like, okay, forget it. There's no hope.
No hay esperanza.
See, I used to be a music minister of a church in Miami.
Era un ministro de música en Miami.
That there were these kids that looked like one of my members in my choir.
Miembros en mi coro.
I mean, look just like her.
Se parece igualita.
There were a whole bunch of them.
Hay tantos.
There were 8.
Eran 8.
That looked just like one of my choir members.
Una de las que estaba en el coro.
But they never talked to her.
Pero nunca le hablaban.
So one day I went and inquired.
Un día yo pregunté.
Why do those kids
¿Por qué esos niños
from 8 different families
de 8 familias diferentes
look like her?
Se parecen a ella.
Oh, that's because that's their mother.
Oh, esa es su madre.
But they don't know it.
Pero ellos no lo saben.
When they were born, she
Cuando
gave them to the family.
Ellos se lo dieron a la familia.
They haven't legally adopted
ellos
them.
No lo han adoptado.
They've had them since they were babies.
Los tienen desde bebés.
And she still claims them on their taxes.
Ella todavía lo pone en sus impuestos.
She still claims them for food stamps.
Ella todavía recibe cupones de alimento para ellos.
And for government
y para toda la asistencia del gobierno.
But she don't take care of them.
Ella no lo
She's
cuida.
just happy to see them at church.
Ella felizmente lo ve en la iglesia.
I sat her tail off my choir.
Yo la saqué del coro de una
I got in trouble for that.
Me metí en problemas.
If God forgave her, you're supposed to forgive her. I'm like, she's pregnant again.
Está embarazada otra vez.
I said, she needs to sit down.
Tiene que sentarse.
Someone needs to say, this is not okay.
Esto no está bien.
This is not all right.
Esto no está bien.
But God forgive her. But I'm not God.
Pero yo no soy Dios.
I got to worry about the young people that are coming after her. I got to protect those young people. So I got fired.
Así que me botaron de la iglesia.
Because, you know, church can be
la iglesia puede ser
another game.
Otro juego.
John 15,
Juan
4 and 5.
4 al 5.
Jesus said, abide in me, and I in you.
Yo en vosotros.
As the branches cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abides in the vine, no more can ye except you abide in me.
Si no permanecéis en mí.
I am the vine,
yo soy la vid,
you are the branches.
Los pámpanos.
He that abides in me, and I in him, the same brings forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing.
Nada podéis hacer.
Now see, I have grapevines. I am not an expert at grapes,
de uvas en mi casa. No
so
soy
I'm not
experto,
trying to teach
así que no estoy
you
tratando de
about
enseñarle
growing
de
grapes.
cómo crecer
All I
viñas.
know
Lo
is
único que sé
lots
es
of leaves
muchas
means
hojas
not lots of grapes.
quiere decir que no hay muchas uvas.
So as the vine
Así
gets
que
longer,
cuando se pone
I
más
have to sit
larga,
there and
yo
cut
tengo
them.
que cortarlo.
And you can get mad at
Y
me.
te puedes enojar conmigo.
Why are you cutting the
¿Por qué estás
vine?
cortando la
Those
viña?
have grapes.
Eso tiene
I'm not
uvas.
an expert,
No, yo no soy
but I
experto,
can tell you what
pero
I've
te puedo decir
noticed.
lo que yo he dado
The
cuenta.
longer the vine,
Lo más
the
largo que es la
smaller
viña,
the fruit.
el fruto es más pequeño.
I want some big
Yo
grapes.
quiero uvas
I
grandes.
need to have some
Yo
short
tengo que
vines.
tener viñas
I have
cortas.
long vines.
Tengo
Hey, they
viñas
might
largas.
produce,
Esas van a producir,
but the grapes are
pero
really
las uvas
small.
son tan pequeñas.
And I don't want
Y yo
small
no
grapes.
quiero,
I want
uvas
big
pequeñas.
grapes.
Yo quiero uvas
I mean, I'm
grandes.
looking for
Yo
Old
estoy
Testament
buscando,
grapes.
uvas
You may
del
not know
Viejo
Old Testament
Testamento,
grapes, but
del
I'm going to
Nuevo
tell you.
Testamento.
You have the
Quizás tú no sabes
spies
de
that went
esto,
into the promised
pero,
land and said, we saw grapes
dice
the
la
size of
Biblia
plums.
que
I want some
fueron
plum
a
grapes.
fueron a la tierra prometida y
But I
vieron
noticed that
uvas
something
que
happens
parecían
when
frutas
I
grandes.
cut the
Pero
branch.
cuando yo
The
corto,
branch that is
corto la
cut
viña, lo que corté
soon dies.
pronto se muere.
Do you understand
¿Entiende lo que estoy diciendo?
why you want to
¿Por qué
cut
tú
off
quieres
to that
cortarte
that's keeping you
de lo que te
alive?
está manteniendo vivo?
See, I didn't know. I went
Yo no
to the
sabía que yo
national market in
yo
Atlanta,
fui al
and I
al
found
mercado
a container
internacional en Atlanta y yo
that was
encontré
full of grape
que
leaves
tenía
that were
un
pickled.
contenedor que tenía
And I
hojas
thought
de
to
uva.
myself,
Y yo pensé,
how many of these leaves I
¿cuánto
throw
de
away
esto
every year?
yo boto cada
Without
año?
knowing I can eat
Sin
the
sabía,
leaves.
yo puedo comerme estas hojas.
Now I'm starting to enjoy
Ahora
cutting my
estoy,
branches
disfrutando, cortando
because I found another use.
mis viñas,
for
porque
those
ahora
branches.
encontré otra forma de
We're going to
usarlo.
eat those leaves.
Vamos a comernos esas hojas.
And you come to my house,
Si vienes a mi casa
and you can tell me you're not going to eat
y
it,
tú me puedes decir
but
que no
I'll
lo vas a
sure
comer,
mix it in the
pero
food
yo
and
lo
put it
voy
in
a
there. You won't
mezclar
know
en la
it.
comida y tú no vas a ver nada.
Mysterious ingredient.
Es un ingrediente misterioso.
This is good.
Eso
What
es
is
rico. ¿Qué es
this?
esto?
It's a secret.
Oh, es un secreto.
Ooh, what kind of
¿Y qué
secret?
tipo de secreto?
It's, something that grows in my yard.
Algo que crece en mi
What is it?
patio. ¿Y qué es esto?
It's a secret.
Es un secreto.
We have to abide
Debemos nosotros
in Jesus, so
mantenernos
Jesus will abide in
en
us.
Dios y él
You can't put
permanecer
him
en
away for a
nosotros.
moment and say,
No
I'm going with my
podemos
friends.
decir, okay,
I'll see
me
you
voy con mis
tomorrow when I
amigos,
get
te veo
back in.
después, cuando regrese.
You have now
Tú
separated
ahora
yourself
te has separado
from the
de
vine,
la viña.
and the vine has kept
Y
you
la viña
alive.
te ha mantenido vivo.
Why do you want to be
¿Por qué
separate?
quieres ser separado?
They've made
Ellos han hecho
a discovery
un
when it comes to the
descubrimiento
human brain.
cuando llega
They have
al
discovered
cerebro
that a person is not
Han
fully
descubierto
grown
que una
until they
persona
hit 30 years
no
old.
estás totalmente adulto hasta que llegan
I'm
a
sorry
los
for the
30 años.
21-year-olds that think they're grown.
Discúlpame los que tienen
Your
21
brain
años,
is
pero
not finished.
su cerebro no ha terminado
See,
de
once
crecer.
you hit 30,
Cuando tú llegas
you
a los
start
30 años,
thinking
tú
rationally.
comienzas a pensar
I don't want to do that.
mejor. Yo no quiero
I
hacer
can
eso.
get hurt.
Me puedo herir.
That's stupid.
Eso es estúpido.
Why are you going
¿Por
to get
qué
on a
tú vas a
skateboard
meterte en
and
una
go on
patineta
the handlebars of the stairway?
te vas a
Why do you
montar
want to do that for?
en lugares
You're going to fall,
raros?
hit your head,
Te
you're going
vas
to
a
bust your
caer, te
head.
va a romper el cerebro.
All of a sudden we start thinking bust head, broken
Nosotros
leg,
pensamos
broken
en
hip,
las,
broken neck,
todas las
broken
áreas del
back.
cuerpo
It's
que podemos
like
romper.
you hit 30, you
Tú
start
llegaste a
thinking
los 30 y
broken.
tú comienzas a pensar roto.
You 12,
Tú llegas a los 12 años
your hip is broken.
y se rompe
You
algo.
went to the
Tú
doctor,
fuiste al doctor.
you got healed.
Tú fuiste
You
sano.
can't wait to do
Tú
the
no
stupidness
puedes
again.
esperar y hacerlo otra vez.
Because then you start saying,
Porque si tú
what are
comienzas
the
a decir,
chances
¿cuáles
that
son
it's
los
going to
chances
happen
que
to
me
me
van a
again?
pasar otra vez?
Well, greatly,
Buenos.
because you already fell once.
Te puede pasar porque te caíste una vez.
You already know how to
Ya
fall.
sabes cómo caerte.
I mean, when I want to laugh
Cuando yo quiero reírme
and I can't go
y
anywhere,
no
my
puedo ir a
kids
ningún
know
lado, entonces mis hijos
I
saben
hit fails. I go to YouTube. I might fail 2019, and I sit there and watch people that I consider stupid. You dummy, don't do it. Don't do it, dummy. Don't. Oh, I told you nothing, but that was funny. I watched the guy as he was dancing with the broom. Just dancing with the broom, having a good old time. Dancing with the broom. And then the broom touched the electric wire.
La escoba lo eléctrico, el alambre eléctrico, y él se electrocutó.
And I hit rewind.
Y yo
left some more rewind.
Y lo eché para atrás.
Left some more rewind.
Y seguí riendo.
Then in poor countries, the power goes off normally.
Se va la luz.
And one guy decided to climb the pole and start walking on the electric line.
En el palo eléctrico y caminar en la línea de electricidad.
And then the power came off.
Y después se prendió la luz.
Rewind.
Echarlo para atrás.
Rewind.
Echarlo para atrás.
You know, when you're young, you do stupid
Cuando
stuff.
Eres joven, haces cosas estúpidas.
I woke up this morning
Yo me levanté esta mañana
thinking how long those 6 minutes are
esos 6 minutos son
when you're drowning.
Cuando estás ahogando.
Why would I wake up thinking of
Estoy
that?
pensando en eso.
I'm like, what would go through their heads when they know
¿Qué está pensando cuando
I'm
saben
drowning?
que ellos están ahogándose?
But young people are not stopping to
Los
think,
jóvenes no paran a pensar.
let me not jump off the cliff, you go first.
Déjame yo meterme en esto. Tú
Let's
va
jump
primero.
together. No, you go
Vamos
first.
a ir solo. No, tú va primero.
No, let's do it together. It's more fun together.
Es más divertido.
Oh, it is? It's more fun
Oh, sí,
together?
es más divertido.
Okay,
juntos.
let's go on
Okay,
three, okay?
vamos en
On
tres.
three. You ready?
Vamos.
1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3.
You okay?
¿Estás bien?
It's deep down there.
Está muy profundo.
You didn't hit any rocks.
No pegaste un...
Okay, my turn.
Es
Ah!
mi turno.
I thought we were going to go together on 3.
Pensaba que íbamos juntos. En
I
tres.
thought you were going to hit a rock.
Yo pensaba que tú le ibas a pegar una piedra.
So I waited.
Así que yo esperé.
If you hit a rock,
Si tú
then I'm
pegas,
going to go
tú
next.
le pegas una
Now we can go
piedra,
do it
y
all
yo-
over again, and
ahora
we
podemos
both
hacerlo
can
otra
jump
vez,
together
y
on
podemos
3 because I
brincar
know
todos
it's
porque
deep.
sé que ya es profundo.
See, some of y'all looking at me, my kids are just
Entonces, están
laughing.
mirando mis
My
hijos,
kids
me
are just
están-
laughing. Hey, I'm telling you common
Te
sense,
estoy
you know?
diciendo el sentido común
It's supposed to be common,
debe ser común.
but you get a lot of kids to
Pero
just
tú
jump
recibes gente que brinca
and don't even know how deep
y
the
no
thing is.
saben qué profundo es.
End up hitting themselves in the
Se
head,
pegan en la cabeza.
and then they're in the wheelchair
Después están en
for
una
the rest of
silla
their
de
life
rueda para el resto de su vida.
for doing
Por
something
hacer algo
stupid.
estúpido.
If you want to live on
Tú
adrenaline,
quieres vivir en la adrenalina,
I'm okay with you,
está bien conmigo.
but there are safe ways
Pero hay formas
to get your
sanas
adrenaline
de
high.
hacerlo.
There are ways to where you can get your adrenaline high and
Formas
survive.
de hacer esto y
I
sobrevivir.
love
Me gusta.
roller
Me
coasters.
gustan las montañas rusas.
My daughter told me,
Mi
Dad,
hija me
let's
dijo,
go on all these roller
Vamos a
coasters
hacer
before you get
todas
too
las
old and you
montañas
can't go on them
rusas
anymore.
Antes que llegues a ser muy viejo y no puedes montarte.
And I thought to myself, you
Yo
know,
dije,
she's right. Let me go ahead
Ya
and do it now.
está correcta, déjame yo hacerlo.
Because pretty soon it's like, sweetie, this is not good
Yo
for
no
my heart.
puedo, esto no es bueno para mi
She
corazón.
made me go on a ride with
Ella
her,
me hizo montarme
where they
en
have to
una
put a
montaña
strap
rusa
around
donde
my
te
leg,
ponen algo ahí en
and
la
then it's
pierna
just a sudden drop.
y después te bajas.
I didn't mind the sudden drop.
No me importó bajarme,
I just didn't like the strap.
pero no me gustó el
Because when you
cinturón.
fall,
Porque
you
cuando te
move forward
te
into the strap.
mueve para el frente.
And I got off that ride
Y yo
thinking
me salí de ahí
I was a
pensando,
cowboy.
yo era un
As I'm walking like this, I am not going on that ride ever again with you. That really hurt. I am not. Leave me alone. Don't touch me.
No me toques, no voy a montar eso otra vez.
I didn't mind the fall.
No me importó caerme.
I just didn't like
Pero
what
el
it
cinturón está
did to
horrible.
me.
Me hizo algo.
For you created
Por
my
tú-
inmost
tú
being.
tú
You
creaste.
knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. See, when you leave your home,
Cuando te vayas de la casa,
pursue what God has created you to be.
busca las cosas que Dios te manda.
Stop
hacer.
thinking of what
No
will make you the
piensen
most
que te va a
money.
hacer más dinero.
See, promotion comes from
La
above.
promoción viene del cielo.
Whatever God
Lo que
made you
Dios
to
te
be,
hizo para
He
que
can
seas,
make that sustain you.
Deja que esto te sostenga.
Whatever it
Lo
is.
que sea.
I know what I'm talking
Yo sé de
about.
qué estoy hablando.
For over 12 years, I had no job,
Por 12 años yo no tenía
but it didn't
trabajo.
stop me from going on vacations in other countries.
Pero no me paró de ir de vacaciones.
You see,
en
I
otros
don't
países.
look like I need an
Yo no
extra
parezco
meal.
que me
It did
hace
okay
falta
for
más
me.
comida. Yo estoy bien.
I just did what God wanted me to do, and
Yo
God
hice
took
lo
care
que
of me.
Dios quiso hacer y Dios
If
me
God can
cuidó.
take care of 3
Si
million
Dios
people in the
puede
wilderness with
cuidar
no
3
food to
millones
eat
de
and no
gente
water to
en el
drink,
bosque sin
I
agua
think I will be just
y
fine because
comida,
it's
yo
only
voy a estar bien
one.
porque solo soy uno.
Pursue what God wants you to be.
Haga lo que Dios quiere que tú hagas.
You know, if you're into bugs and
Si
you
te
want to
gusta
study
los
bugs and be
insectos
a
y quieres
bug
estudiar los
doctor,
insectos y quieres ser
by
un
all
doctor
means, I
de-
still got to
de
call you doctor,
insectos, todavía tengo que
even
llamarte
if you
insecto,
cannot operate on
aunque
me.
no puedes operar en mí.
Pursue the bent that God has put into you. Parents, stop
Haga lo que
trying
Dios
to
quiere que
live
tú hagas.
through
Padres, pare de estar
the eyes of
viviendo
your
por
children.
los ojos de sus hijos.
Lots of parents
Muchos
want their
padres
kids to
quieren
do
que sus
what
hijos hagan
they didn't get a
Lo
chance
que
to
ellos no
do.
pudieron hacer.
Your kid is not
Tu
you.
hijo no eres tú.
God made him to be
Dios
something
lo hizo para
different
que sea
than you.
diferente que tú.
Allow them to be.
Permite que
God
sean
wants
lo
them
que
to
Dios
be.
quiere que sean.
Encourage them
Motívalos
to be what God
para
wants
que
them to
sean lo
be.
que Dios quiere que sean.
You know, my son is off to
Mi
college
hijo
and
está
he
en la
changed his
universidad
major.
Y él cambió su título.
And I'm thinking, you're not
Su
going to make a
estudio.
lot of money in
No
this.
va a ganar mucho dinero en esto.
But if that's what you want,
Pero si eso es lo que te gusta, entonces
God will
está bien.
provide for
Dios
you.
va a proveer.
God will provide
Dios
for
va a
you.
proveer para ti.
My job as a parent is
Mi
to see.
trabajo es para que
what my
para
kids
ver
are into.
qué es lo que
Don't
quieren
ask me
hacer
about
mis
Adrian and
hijos.
Jordan. I have no
No me
clue.
pregunten de Adrián y Jordán, yo no sé nada.
Because I would say
Porque
Jordan
yo digo,
should
Jordán
join and be a professional eater,
debe ser
but he eats too slow.
uno que come profesionalmente, pero él come muy
He
despacio.
eats a lot, but he just
Come
eats too slow.
mucho, pero come
I
muy
mean, if we
despacio.
can pick up the pace, maybe he can make a
Podemos
living
hacerlo más
going
rápido.
to
Él puede ir a
competitions
las
and
diferentes
eating food
competencias y
because he
comiendo
doesn't get
comida,
an ounce.
porque él
I mean,
él
underneath his
no
clothes,
es
he is skin
se
and
queda
bones, but the boy eats.
flaquito y él come
I mean,
tanto,
but then he eats too slow.
pero él come muy despacio.
Yeah, come on, Jordan.
Vamos,
Come on,
Jordán,
Jordan.
vamos, Jordán.
Let's go, Jordan. I'm
Vamos,
finished eating.
Jordán,
You're
ya
still
yo
eating.
terminé y tú todavía estás comiendo.
Because he's in there enjoying
Él
it.
está disfrutando.
So I got to keep on looking and
Así
see
que yo
what
tengo
gift
que
God
seguir
has given him
mirando
because he
a
can
ver
eat a
qué
lot.
don
He
Dios
just
le ha
can't eat
dado.
fast
Puede
enough.
comer mucho, pero no puede comer rápido.
Can't make money just eating
No
a
puede
lot.
ganar dinero
You
así.
got to eat a lot
Tiene que comer
fast.
mucho rápido.
He can't be in the movie
No puede
industries
estar en las películas
because he runs away
porque él
from
se
the
huye
monsters that are on the screen.
de los monstruos que están en la pantalla.
He does.
Él lo hace.
He'll stand in
Él
place
se queda
and
allí.
begin to run in
Comienza a
place.
correr solo.
The dinosaur is
Y
chasing after
viene
you.
el dinosaurio.
Here comes Jordan. Can't do that.
No puede hacer esto.
My wife would get mad and start fussing
Mi
at him. I'm
esposa
like,
se
leave the boy
enoja
alone. This is
y
funny.
le comienza a gritar, pero yo le digo, déjalo en paz, esto es chistoso.
We'll go to the movie theater. He'll
Vamos
start doing it in
al
the movie
cine
theater.
y
Leave the boy alone.
Déjalo tranquilo. Es chistoso.
Can't pay for this, you know?
Puede
This
pagar
is for
por esto.
free.
Esto es gratis.
Pray without ceasing.
Ora sin
In
cesar,
everything
sin
give
cesar,
thanks.
y en todo dar gracias.
While they are still with you, continue to parent. And don't forget to pray that they will bring good changes to others. Pray that they will bring changes. Not that they will be changed, but that they will bring changes in others. Father, that they'll be strong and well put together and have their character intact. That as they walk in the door, everyone has to turn to look at them. Confident in Christ that lives in them. Pray that a friend that will help the dull edges may emerge in their lives. Proverbs 27:17. Iron sharpens iron, so that a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Man, what kind of friend can Ariel get when her friend is sharpening her? When she is sharpening her friend. Could you see my daughter coming back home sharper than she left? Man, I want to meet that friend. That's a friend that's like, yeah, buddy, you making my daughter better. Oh, this is a friend that we need. But if you're going to get around people that are going to hammer out your edges, do you understand that I have swords at home? And I bought them. But I made sure that they weren't finished being sharpened. Because I got some kids that might hurt themselves. But my swords have the ability of becoming so sharp that they can cut paper in the air. What about if our children were like that? Have the ability of being able to cut through paper as you drop it in the air. I don't want dull kids in our church. I don't want dull kids in my house. But sometimes I have dull adults. And the dull adults cannot sharpen their own kids because one has to grind on the other. There's some discomfort in grinding. Grinding also creates something. It creates sparks. Man, sometimes in our house, sparks are flying. Oh, Erica has been through some of our family meetings, and she knows something's going to happen at the end of this meeting. I mean, she just looks like something's going to happen. Someone's going to get a whooping. Someone's going to get a whooping. This seems like whooping material. There's going to be some sparks flying. We had one of those yesterday because Erica said this one was rude to me. Ooh, that sparks flying material. We're going to grind some edges when we get home because you are not going to be rude to any adult, for you are a child. I don't care if they're homeless. They're an adult. You will respect the adult and not be rude. So I had to be the grinding stone yesterday and try to sharpen some edges because I don't want my kids to leave my house dull. I want them to have a sharp mind. I want their perception to be enlightened. I want them when they walk in the door and they see something, they saw the end of the matter while it's beginning. I want them to be able to recognize I need to leave here because I smell trouble. Come on, we need our kids to be sharp. We don't need them to be the dodo sitting there while the whole thing is happening and all of a sudden get shot because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. We need them to be sharp. Have some sense. You have eyes? Use them. On Friday, one of my duties, now that it's coming towards the end of the school year, is to stand in the hallway and make sure that the kids are in line quietly while we're testing. All they had to do is walk by. But on the other end of the hall, through my peripheral vision, I saw a commotion. And without meaning to, I started walking to the commotion. It wasn't my side, but my job is to keep the kids safe. And by the time I got there, these two boys started throwing punches. And for a moment, I lost myself. I did, because part of me wanted to sit there and watch the fight. Because, I mean, they weren't fighting like, middle schoolers. They weren't doing this stuff. No, they were doing connecting. And I was like, ooh, they know how to fight. Wait a second, I'm the teacher.
Yo soy el maestro. Espérate un momento.
Then I went there and stopped the fight.
Yo fui a parar la
But in the inside, I'm like, oh, man, that was a good one.
Ay, este era bueno.
You go to your corner.
Ay,
you
tú vas para
Wait,
ese lado,
this is not a real fight. We don't have a corner. I'm sorry. I got distracted.
No tenemos un rincón. Perdóname, me distraer.
You see, I had to admire that these two kids, even though they were fighting, they knew how to fight.
Ellos sabían cómo pelear.
Whoever started it
El que comenzó
might have been the wrong one,
podía ser el incorrecto,
but he messed with the wrong
pero él se
kid
metió con el niño
because
incorrecto,
that kid
porque ese
was
niño
sharp.
Era hábil.
He threw the punch and I saw the other kid do this and connect. And that's why for a moment I was lost. Because I saw it. Oh, man. You messed with the wrong one. I bet you're not going to mess with him no more. He knows how to fight. He's sharp in this area. And then he just took off running. Yeah, I don't know what he ran for. He's on camera. We know who he is. We know who started the fight. It's on camera. See, the thing is that when you are sharp, you are prepared for whatever life is going to throw at you. God is not having you being ignorant. He wants you to be prepared for what the enemy is going to throw at you. And if you're prepared for what the enemy is throwing at you, you're not praying, Lord God, let the enemy stop throwing. No, you start praying, Lord God, let him throw faster. Because all his stumbling blocks have become my stepping stone. Come on, keep it going. I'm going faster. I'm going faster. I'm going faster. I'm going faster. I don't want our kids to leave here and have to experience what we have been experiencing. Years of ministry. They go to college and do nothing. That has been our experience. Got a college degree.
Tiene un título de universidad.
To be mediocre.
Para ser un cualquiera.
I think we need to stop this.
Tenemos que parar esto.
You know, my biggest hurdles
¿Cuál es lo más difícil para mí?
Have been their parents.
He sido sus padres.
I cannot supersede their parents.
Yo no puedo ser más alto que sus padres.
But Pastor, why don't you have any kids graduate and do well? Because the parents had them here the whole time they were kids. And when they became grown-ups, they got their club partner.
ellos buscaron una
and they left
pareja para la
church
disco y se fueron de la
to go
iglesia
clubbing with their
para
kid.
ir a bailar.
There's a lot more that God has in store
Hay
for
más que
us.
Dios puede hacer para
I
nosotros.
want my
Yo
kids
quiero que mis hijos
to supersede me.
me
So if
sobrepasen.
you think I'm busy,
Así que si tú crees que yo estoy
wait till my
ocupado,
kids get my age,
espera que mis hijos
because they're
tengan
going
mi
to
edad,
teach me a
porque
lesson
ellos me van a
of
enseñar
what
una
really
lección
being busy is
de lo
like.
que lo que es
Because to
ser
do
ocupado.
more than me
Porque para ser
means
más
they
que yo,
have to
quiere decir
do.
que ellos tienen que hacer.
How can a young person stay on the path of purity? By living according to your word.
¿Cómo
I
puede
seek
un
you with
joven
all my heart.
quedarse en
Do not let
en
me
una-
stray from your
una vía
commands.
de
Psalms
ser
119,
puro,
9 through 10.
viviendo en la palabra de Dios?
I really like this next slide. New people in your young
La
adult
gente
life
nueva
will try to change them.
En la vida de su
So in this
joven
way they can
adulto,
take part of whatever
pueden-
they plan.
pueden,
But if we learn to allow
parte de su
ourselves to be
vida
wrapped
para
up
ser
with the Word
parte
of God,
de su vida,
then
pero si
others
podemos
will
mantenernos
change.
envuelto en la palabra de Dios,
Ooh,
entonces
did you see
otros
that
van a
picture?
cambiar.
Wrapped up with the Word of God. See, other people will try to
Otros
change your
Van a
child
tratar de cambiar tus hijos
so they can have a sex partner,
para tener
so they can have
una
a
pareja de
drug
sexo
partner,
o tener una pareja
so
de
they can
drogas
have a
para
drink
tener
partner.
uno que le lleve a tomar.
But they're not seeking
Pero
after
ellos
their
están
child
buscando
so they can have a
hijo
God
para
partner.
tener un cristiano, una
So
pareja
our kids need to
cristiana.
leave here
Nuestros hijos deben salir
wrapped
de
up in the
aquí
Word of God.
envueltos en la palabra de Dios.
That it's better for them to have
Es
no
mejor
friend
que no tengan
than
amigos,
to have the wrong
que
friend.
tengan los amigos incorrectos.
Come on, I say it again. It is better for them to have
Es
no
bueno
friend
tener no
than for
tener
them
amigos
to have
que tener
the wrong
los
friend.
amigos incorrectos.
I like her expression
Me gusta su expresión
as she's being wrapped up
mientras ella está envuelta
in the Word of God.
en la palabra de Dios.
It's sweet.
Es lindo.
Tour campuses with your child. Visit a faculty to ask
Vete
important
a
questions
la
about
universidad
dorm
con
life,
tus hijos y
extracurricular
haga preguntas
offerings, and
qué está pasando en la
students' studies
universidad,
of
qué
focus.
hacen en su tiempo libre.
This is where we're taking Ariel.
Vamos a llevar a
We're
Ariel
taking
a esta
her to the
universidad.
city of knowledge
Vamos a llevar a la ciudad de
in
la
my home
sabiduría
country.
en Panamá.
You know what's ironic?
¿Sabe lo que es
The city of
interesante?
knowledge
La ciudad
is
de
the city I
sabiduría
used to live
es
in.
la ciudad donde yo vivía.
The buildings that you
El
see
edificio que
that are
ustedes
part of
ven,
the city
que
of
son
knowledge,
parte de la ciudad de la
one of
sabiduría.
them was the
Uno de
elementary
ellos
school that
es
I attended.
La escuela elemental que yo atendía.
They repurposed the building.
Y cambiaron el edificio.
I'm sending my daughter to
Voy
go
a
to college
mandar a la niña a ir
to
a la
the school that I
universidad,
went
a la
to for
escuela que
elementary.
yo fui a mi escuela elemental. Oh, that's so sweet.
Parents,
Los padres,
it is not my job
no es mi trabajo
to take your kids
agarrar a sus hijos
to tour universities.
para llevarlo a
It
a
is
las
not Erica's
universidades.
job
No es el trabajo de
to take
Erika
your kids
llevar a sus
to
hijos
tour
a
universities.
mirar las universidades.
But unfortunately,
Pero desafortunadamente,
our parents are not
los
mature
padres
enough,
no son
and we're striving for our parents to be mature enough
maduros
to be
suficientes
able to take their own
para llevar
kids
sus propios hijos
and not try to make your
y no
kids
tratar de que
you,
sus hijos sean ustedes.
but look for what's best for
Pero
your kid.
mirar lo que es mejor para ustedes.
If your kid has
Para sus
never
hijos.
shown any interest in
Si sus
science,
hijos no tenían interés en ciencia,
being a medical doctor should
ser
not
un
be their field.
doctor médico no debe ser su carrera.
If your child has
Su
never shown any
hijo
interest in
nunca ha
math,
tenido interés en matemáticas,
being an astronomer should not be their field.
ser uno que va al espacio no debe ser.
Look for the
carrera.
things that they have done. And in that
Busquen las
way,
cosas que han hecho
have them fulfill how God has made them.
y ellos puedan avanzar a lo que Dios quiere que hagan.
Do not go to university
No vayan a la universidad
for status.
para ser alguien importante.
My child went to Harvard.
Mi hijo fue a Harvard
He got Harvard
y
education.
tiene una educación de Harvard.
He studied
Él está estudiando
history.
la historia.
What is he
¿Qué
doing?
está haciendo?
or he's between jobs.
O él está entre trabajos.
What was he doing before?
¿Qué hacía antes?
He was going to college.
Él iba a la universidad.
Wait, to be between jobs means you had a job and you now don't have a job and you're waiting to get a job. That's in between jobs. He has a Harvard degree in history and don't have a job. I discovered a Shaquille O'Neal. Y'all have heard of him, right? Basketball player. He has a doctorate degree in education. Why?
¿Por qué?
He don't teach anywhere.
Él no enseña en ningún lado.
I want to work at the school where Shaquille O'Neal is the principal.
En la escuela donde él es el principal.
He has a doctorate degree in education. Buddy, be a principal. You live in Atlanta, there are lots of schools that need you to be principal. Oh, but he don't want to put up with those kids.
Pero él no quiere bregar con esos niños.
So why do you have a doctorate in education?
Un doctorado en educación.
So you can have a doctorate.
Para tener un doctorado.
That seems like a waste of time.
Eso es una pérdida de tiempo.
Don't go somewhere just because it's a name brand.
Porque es un lugar
go to where you can afford.
Que es popular. Vete a un lugar donde puedes pagar el dinero.
Amen. Go to where you could afford.
Donde tú puedes pagar el dinero.
Y'all know that university right there? You know how much it costs a year?
¿Cuánto cuesta al año?
$3,000.
$3,000.
Oh, it's an American degree. It's not a Hispanic degree. It's part of a program through the Florida University. $3,000 a year. I'm like, ooh, I can afford that. I can. 3,000 divided by 12. Wait a second. You get more than that on financial aid. It's an American university. Oh, girl, I don't have to pay anything. You don't even need to get a scholarship. Girl, we're good. We're golden. And you come back after living in Latin America for 2 years and you're studying to be a Spanish teacher. You're not going to sound like an American Spanish teacher. ¿Cómo está usted? I can't stand that stuff. My wife can't stand it either. She's like, honey, they're millionaires. They make millions of dollars teaching Spanish and they can't speak it.
Hay millonarios enseñando español y no saben hablar español.
I don't understand how funny that is.
Eso es chistoso.
¿Cuántos años tienes tú? Sela, we love it when they speak like that, right?
Nos gusta cuando hablan así, ¿verdad?
Yeah, we love it. It's like, hello, don't you teach Spanish?
¿Tú no enseñas español?
I was just speaking to you in Spanish. That's not Spanish.
Eso no es español.
I speak Spanish. That's not the Spanish. That's Spanish with a really bad accent.
Eso es un acento muy malo.
Well, she's going to go for 2 years so she don't have to come back with an accent.
Para que no tenga que regresar con acento.
And then be able to speak it fast.
Y poder hablarlo muy rápido.
Like her mother.
Como su madre.
Oh man, that's going to be horrible. I'm going to have to get some earplugs.
Yo voy a necesitar.
Because y'all know Ariel is loud. She going to walk on. Mami, ¿dónde estás? Que yo no encuentro dónde estás. Hello. Perdóname, padre, es que no supe que tú estabas. I can't even say it right. Estabas ahí.
Lord, help
I need to go back for 2 years, right? Yeah. So I can speak Spanish really, really fast. She gave me permission. She gave me permission to go. So if Ariel, you see me over there for 2 years, your mom told me I could do it.
I'm going with you too. I'll be an English teacher.
The last thing.
Lo último.
We talked about going to a school that you can afford. The borrower is slave to the lender. Proverbs 22:7. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. That's the whole verse.
El que toma prestado es un esclavo al que le presta el dinero.
I have met many people who have told me that they will be paying for their student debt until they die.
Todo lo que deben en la escuela hasta que mueran.
You know, I went on scholarship, but I borrowed some money too.
Yo fui en una beca a la universidad, pero también tomé
Because I had to borrow some money for some other stuff.
Prestado para otras cosas.
And I just did my
Y
FAFSA.
yo hice mi aplicación para otra beca del
And they
gobierno.
Told me how much I have to pay,
cuánto tengo que pagar.
which is like $13,000,
$13,000.
which is kind of funny.
Que es un poco
Because I work in the Title I school. If I work for 4 years in my school, they'll pay $17,500 for my school.
Ellos me pagan mi beca.
So in 4 years,
así que en 4 años,
I owe nothing.
Yo no debo nada.
I don't even have to make a single
Yo ni
payment.
tengo que hacer un pago.
They said my following
Me
payment is
dijeron
0.
que mi pago que debo es 0.
I don't have to pay anything.
Yo no tengo que pagar nada.
Wait, if I went to school in my mid-40s and went for free and finishing my master's at $13,000,
y solamente debo 13,000.
why is the average person
¿Por qué la persona
having to pay on $80,000
paga $80,000
on a student loan?
en una beca de estudiante?
You mean to tell me that a 40-something-year-old can get a scholarship, but an 18-year-old can't?
Los 40 y pico de años puedes conseguir beca y uno de 18 años no puede.
You know why?
¿Sabes por qué?
Because our 18-year-old
Porque los de 18 años
started trying to get a scholarship
tratan de
on
buscar
their senior year.
becas cuando ya es muy tarde.
We're starting earlier.
Estamos comenzando
Right,
temprano.
Isabella? We're starting now, right?
Isabela, comenzamos
So by the
ahora.
time she gets to
Cuando
the
ella
11th
llega
grade,
al 11 grado,
hey, letters of
ella va a
scholarships.
tener
And then it's
becas.
like, which one you want to go
¿Cuál tú
to?
quieres ir?
You got accepted to all of
Te
these. Which one?
aceptaron a todas.
And hopefully
Y
Isabella will be like,
esperamos
the
que
one who's
Isabela
offering the
pueda decir, El
most.
que ofrece más es que yo voy a ir.
The one who's offering the most. Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no records of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoicing in the truth, always protects, always hopes, always trusts. Love never fails.
Injusticia, todo lo que espera, todo lo soporta.
Last thing, young folks, you're going to make lots of mistakes,
Ustedes van a
lots of
cometer
them,
muchos errores,
lots of them.
muchos errores.
Parents, we're not keeping records of all their mistakes. We will make sure that our love does not fail for our own kids. We will make certain that our love does not fail for our own kids. Oh, there are many times, I'm glad my son is here. There's many times I decided I wasn't going to talk to him no more.
Yo decidí muchas veces que no iba a hablar
But
con
I'm
él,
still talking to
pero
him.
todavía hablo con él.
Because he'll get on my last
Porque él
nerve.
me vuelve loco.
And I'm like, oh, this
Dije,
kid.
ay, este niño,
I'm not talking to him no
no
more.
voy a hablar con
And
él
then for a
más.
while, it'll
Por
go
un
through his
tiempo,
mom.
Él va por su
Elijah
mamá.
said this.
Elijah dijo esto.
And I don't care.
No me importa.
Care what he
No me
said.
importa lo que dijo.
Eventually, I'm calling him.
Eventualmente yo lo estoy llamando.
Hey, son.
Hola, hijo.
And then he'll answer just like only he can.
Solo él
Hello,
contesta,
Father.
Hola, padre.
Well, why?
¿Por qué?
I can't hold grudges
Yo
to
no
my
puedo
own kids.
guardar rencor de mis propios
I
hijos.
tried.
Yo trato.
It gets to the point I write it
Llega
down
al
too.
punto,
I
yo lo escribo.
not. And then my wife just laughs
Mi
at me.
esposa se ríe.
She just laughs at me and says, honey, you know you
Tú
can't
sabes que no
not
puedes
speak
no
to
hablar
your
con tu
own
hijo.
kids. All right, watch when Adrian
Mira,
and Jordan
tú verás
leaves my
cuando
house. I'm going to keep my word
Adrián
then.
y Jordán
I'm
se
not
vayan, yo también voy a hacer lo
I'm not
mismo.
going to talk to
No, no
them.
voy a hablar con
And she
ellos.
said, no, you're going to
No,
talk to
tú
them
vas a
too.
hablar con ellos también.
Because that's not like
Porque
you.
eso no es como tú eres.
How come your girls are never on your
¿Y
not
por
list?
qué tus niñas no están ahí?
Because they're my girls.
Porque son las niñas.
These are your boys.
Estos son tus niños.
Again, young folks, you're going to make a
Los
lot of
jóvenes
mistakes.
van a
But
cometer
learn
muchos
from
errores,
your
pero
mistakes.
aprenden de sus errores.
You realize that you don't want to be what you thought you want to be.
Se dan cuenta que no
Don't
quieren,
continue
no
to
van a hacer lo
be
que
it
quieren hacer.
so you
Entonces
can
no
prove
consigan
yourself to be
hacer
right.
eso para que sean correctos.
Because you shouldn't hate
Porque
going to work.
no deben odiar ir al trabajo.
You shouldn't hate going to work. I tell you, I get my days that I can't stand being at work, and I tell my wife, I'm not going back there again. Man, they drive me crazy. And then the following day, I'm like, okay, honey, I'm going to work.
Okay, voy al trabajo.
But, honey, didn't you say it? Yeah, but they need me.
Sí, pero me necesitan.
They're never going to stop being stupid if I don't teach them not to be stupid. I got a purpose to be at work. Don't look at me like that. They need me. That's why I'm going. Then I'll come back at the end of the day. Ooh, they drove me so crazy. Just drove me nuts. My kids know. My school kids can drive me crazy, man. I'll come home. Oh, but I figured out how to work with my schedule. You know, I got a lunch break, and during my lunch break, I bought myself a gaming chair. Oh yeah, a gaming chair. Yeah, it cost me $350, a gaming chair. I bought it because it can recline all the way back, and you can pull the leg stuff out there, and it has these extra pillows. So I'll go and put the pillow to just on my neck, and then set my alarm to go off 5 minutes before I see the kids and go to sleep for 15 minutes. I've discovered after that 15 minutes, I'm like, come on in, have a seat. You have a seat. You. Yeah, I just rested. We're okay. Come on in. I got extra strength for you. Come on in. Have a seat. Yes, you. The same you. The one I've talked to 20 times already. Get your tail in here, making my rest go away. I'm discovering how to be better where I am. Because I do love what I do. I love to teach. But I found out what I love even more than teaching. I love for students to learn. May God richly bless you. People that are visiting.